Okay guys, welcome back to another class. Let's get right into it. So we definitely got a lot to talk about, especially when it comes down to cryptocurrency. So let's just go over our holdings really quickly. So first of all, we have Oracle here, and our take profit was all the way up over here, just below this white line right here, and we barely missed our level. Like our take profit was like right there, and we barely missed it. And we ended up exiting early, so this is only a 0.8 RR, and it is a big position though. We closed 80% of the position here, so that's good. At this point, it is only 20%. We're only holding 20% now, so 80% of the trade is closed. We're just holding 20% because I still think there's a lot of upside. I mean, we have pivot, pivot, pivot. Yeah, we broke below. If this is a fake out, then we can go all the way back up, make new highs potentially. We already had a bear market rally right here, so after a bit of consolidation, we could actually go a lot higher. We will need to get a little bit lucky though in order to make a big amount of money out of this, because our stop loss is at right here now. So thing is, we don't want our stop loss to get hit. Okay, so hopefully this continues higher. We'll leave our stop loss here for a while, and we will trail this very, very carefully. Okay, so as long as the price can manage to get up over here, somewhere up here, we'll be very, very safe, because I will make sure we adjust our stop loss very, very carefully, by most likely having it below the 786 fib level. Okay, and maybe eventually 618 and eventually 0.5, but we'll be very, very careful to trail. If we get a little lucky initially and we get a pump here, then yeah, trailing this all the way to like 332 should actually be pretty easy. So fingers crossed that this goes well, because even though it's a small position at this point, it can still make us a lot of money. And then we have FLNC. Again, this didn't go according to plan because the reversal here just never hit our take profit, but no, we actually got kicked out because of earnings, but we re-entered. So this is now 2/3 of our max position size as our first entry here, and our second entry is here, and if it continues lower, this will be our third entry, lowering our stop loss or our entry probably around here, meaning we can decrease this all the way down up until somewhere here, just as long as it stays a 1-to-1. Okay, but I mean, this is definitely oversold. It's below key level of support now, which could very well be a liquidity grab. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing go up. Okay, then we have RMBS, and this is insanely unlucky. It almost hit our take profit here, almost here too, and then look, it was literally pennies away from hitting our take profit. Pennies away. Very unfortunate stuff, but it is what it is. We're still in profits right now, and we are still going to hold this. Okay, we're probably going to have to end up holding this for another 2-3 weeks though, to be honest. It really sucks, but what can be done at this point, because we missed our exit over here. So you never know though, we could get lucky. It could hit in the next, like by Tuesday, who knows. But realistically, don't be surprised if you have to wait another 2 to 3 weeks. That's the high end of it, but yeah, I'm just preparing you guys mentally for the worst. Okay, and then we have NXPI. Again, this also very unfortunately missed our take profit. This is a bigger difference than obviously RMBS, but still pretty annoying. If this goes lower, we will dollar cost average. The only regret I have on this trade is maybe I should have lowered my stop loss a little bit more, just so that there's extra room, even though it's below a major gap. Now, as far as RMBS, FLNC goes, we have major support coming in here if we do continue lower. RMBS, there's plenty of support levels, but for now, hopefully this just reverses and goes up. And then as far as NXPI goes, there's no level here, but we do have to enter here to lower our average entry, so that when we get the reversal, we don't need a big reversal. And then this is a good level right there. Okay, and then there's a gap fill, which are stop losses below. I do wish I had a little bit of extra room. We might lower this a little bit, but we'll see, okay? And then we have SBS, and I mean, I think this is going to hit take profit probably by Monday or Tuesday. But the only issue is we didn't really get to enter. It almost hit our entry. But yeah, so we'll see. The order is still open. Okay, there's still a chance we enter if it falls back down. But right now it's looking like take profit's going to hit in the next, like, by Monday or... Wait, can you guys not hear me? You guys can hear me, right? Just want to confirm. Okay, good. So like I said, for this trade, take profit is probably going to hit by Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. But I honestly hope it goes back down so that we can enter the trade. Because again, we got very close. And the reason we entered here is because, again, there's a lot of support over here, which you could enter at support, that's fine, but I wanted to enter at a pierce through support. Our second entry pierce through that support. Third entry, just to literally lower. There's support here too, but we need to lower our average. And then of course stop losses below this gap fill. That's major support right
Company,
there. So guys, if you have to say something, please just text it in the meeting, okay? Anyways, so yeah, that's SBS. Pretty epic trade over here. Anyways, next we have NI. And as far as SBS goes, this is a decent percentage gain, 7%, okay? NXPI, 8%, RMBS, 19, FLNC, 32, Oracle, we made 12, and we're looking for another 145 with the remaining 20%. But NI isn't like one of those trades, okay? This is a low percentage gain trade, and we're only looking for 3% gains on this. And we'll be looking to dollar cost average at these levels here. But this is still due for a reversal, okay? It's extremely oversold, and I do expect institutional buyers to come in at some of these support levels. It's a very high volume and a very quality company. So, and let's get the Fibonacci retracement going here, and you guys can see that our stop loss is below the 382 fib level. I mean, so if the price ends up actually falling down all the way into 382, I wouldn't panic sell over here. There's a very high chance that if price doesn't reverse anytime soon and falls all the way here, there's a very high chance price could reverse from here. Very, very high. Okay? The 382 fib level is the silver ratio. It's the second most powerful, and it's very, very effective on the bigger time frames in an uptrend, because institutions see this as a major discount on something that's bullish. Okay, even the 236 is considered to be a pretty good level to accumulate. But if price manages to get to the 382, it usually does reverse. Okay, and last but not least, AAOI. Now, this isn't a regular trade like over here. This is a high risk trade. Okay, and we have DRAM as well. I almost forgot to mention DRAM. So let's go over DRAM first. We did buy over here on the breakout, made some money, and then hold on a minute. I believe this might have broken even. Yeah, so DRAM broke even after, I believe. I'll double check. I'm not sure, but as far as DRAM goes, I still think this is a good investment to hold. And we're not in this trade anymore. I believe we got stopped out. It broke even after hitting our first take profit. But let me just double check. Yeah, 25%, and then the other half hit our stop loss. So I'll make the adjustments on the open positions. So now we really just have AAOI, and we bought this as an investment over here, like over here somewhere. We were heavily down on it, and we're already recovering. Okay, but anyways, we bought over here 1/3, another 1/3 here. So now our average entry is somewhere down here. Okay, And then if our third entry gets hit, it's going to be a major gap fill right there. It's going to be major support. Very well could be the bottom. And right now, price is trading around this area. It's down 10% in the after hours. So we'll see if that gets filled or not. And if it does, we'll see on Monday if institutions buy this dip up or not. But again, this is a high risk trade alert. There's a reason why I have a high risk section and then a regular section over here. So be extra careful with the high risk. Okay. Now we have the S&P 500. Again, it's pulling back. I mean, it got extremely extended over here, just like it did here. The only difference here versus here is that, I mean, over here, we were at a major discount after a lot of consolidation. Plus, this was caused by tariffs, something being priced in. So we got a pretty nice discount, and that gets bought up quickly. This time, we didn't have a crazy, like, we had less consolidation here. So price had less time to, consolidate for the next move up. So that's why you have a smaller move. So this is, I would say, just as extended as this when you really consider the consolidation factor and the discount factor. Okay. So, as price is pulling back, we want to look for levels where, the S&P could potentially bottom or bounce, and that's where our stocks will benefit. So the first level is going to be right here at around 7622. So we're already pretty close to it. This could be where we get a bounce, or if we go below, I really like this level here at 7577.7. Okay, so around this area, price could bottom out and start consolidating and maybe uptrending again. Okay. You also want to pay attention to this trend over here, or this trend line, I should say, right there. And again, there's a gap fill right over here. So let's go on the SPY chart and just confirm. Okay, on the SPY chart, there's no gap over here, but on the futures chart, there is a gap. And this is a pretty big gap. And I do think this gap is going to be important to pay attention to. So worst case scenario, I think we go all the way down here before bouncing and uptrending again, okay? And do I think the uptrend is over? Do I think the S&P is reaching the end of its bull market? No, not necessarily. I mean, the crypto bull market might have just started, so we could still have a decent amount of upside, okay? And we haven't seen meme stocks go up yet, so I still think there's a lot of potential upside right now. But anyways, that's the S&P 500. We are getting close to support, so let's see what price does there. And then we have probably everyone's favorite, something everyone wants to know about, cryptocurrency. Okay, so crypto is looking really interesting right now. Let's go to the weekly. Let's see. So again, I remember telling you guys about this head and shoulders pattern over here, that I do expect a bullish move, and that I expect price to go all the way into this trend over here. I didn't expect anything like this, but you can't be too surprised when you have so much consolidation. And there's also a catalyst. So there's the US. The US basically wants to like double down on their buybacks, and pretty much. Oh yeah, and there's a lot of there's a lot of short positions that also got squeezed out over here. So that's another reason price went up so much. So I'd definitely be careful. Like this could definitely pull back quite a bit. Okay, potentially go all the way back down here. But I really don't know what. I need to do more research into cryptocurrency to really know what's going on. Again, I was expecting the bull cycle to begin on around October, but who knows? It could start early. You can't time the market perfectly, but we are pretty close to October. I mean, we're not that far away, anyways. Okay, we're only like a few months away, so I wouldn't be too surprised if the bull market does start. I mean, just look at crypto in general at a massive discount, and then you have the S&P 500 all the way up here. So it makes sense for institutions to start going from investing 80% of their money into the S&P to maybe 70 and putting a little bit into crypto. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like that. Okay. One second. Now, here's what's really interesting about cryptocurrency, and this is what really gets me excited about the bull market. So, I think this time the bull market, whenever it begins, whether it's now or maybe a couple months down the road, I think this bull market is going to really benefit the ones that are holding altcoins. So the first reason I say this is because we had a terrible bull market for altcoins here, meaning the next bull market should be really good for altcoins. Okay. Now, notice how much Bitcoin went up over here. So let's just check really quick. It went up 25%. Cool, 25%. Algorand also in the past 3 days went up 25%. Basically 25. Now, here's the thing. This is the beginning of the bull market. If we did just start a bull market, whether it's now or a couple months down the road, the point is it would be the beginning of the bull market. Okay? And at the beginning of the bull market, you're supposed to see Bitcoin go up and all the other coins lag behind. So my first point that cryptocurrency didn't do too great in the previous bull market, and that because of that it should do very well this bull market. What I just showed you is already a sign of that, because this is the beginning of the bull market. And take a look at Bitcoin dominance. This chart, look, past couple days it's been going up, meaning money is flowing into Bitcoin more than it's flowing into altcoins. Okay, and so if Bitcoin continues to go higher and this goes up with it, while altcoins basically bring in the same returns as Bitcoin, then imagine what altcoins will do when Bitcoin continues to go higher, but then this thing flips and goes down. That is the perfect combo for altcoins. You want Bitcoin going up and you want this chart to be going down. That is altcoin season. That's where you become a millionaire with altcoins. Okay, so hopefully as Bitcoin goes higher, this also inches higher and altcoins don't get big dips and go up with Bitcoin. And then when we finally reach the end of the bull market and this thing drops, that's when your altcoins will go crazy. I think Algorand can probably hit $4, $7, $10. Anywhere within this range is pretty realistic. $4.76 is extremely conservative. I think it probably goes higher to at least $7.62, maybe even $10. And you never know, it could even go a lot higher. There's some people that work at Algorand who are extremely confident that Algorand could be top 3 biggest cryptos in the crypto market by the end of this bull run, whenever we get it. And they're very confident because of the technology they've built. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but if that does happen, that means this thing would probably hit, let's see what the market cap is right now. I believe it's 1 billion by now with this pump that we just had. Not even a billion, wow. And then if you look at altcoins like top 3 BNB, for example, market cap is 92 billion. This will be at like what, 300 billion, 400 billion. So pretty much if that does happen, if this ends up being the top 3, 4, 5 biggest cryptos in the crypto market, then this would be sitting at like you will literally 500x your money if that happens. I'm not saying it will. I'm just telling you guys what it would look like if that does happen. Okay, so my plan, I'm probably always going to hold 20% of my Algorand position no matter what. Like, I'm never going to sell. Okay, 20 to 30%. Anyways, next we have XRP. This thing also pumped. This is actually outperforming everything so far. It outperformed Ethereum as well. So actually, let's just measure this. Ethereum is up. I would not be surprised if Ethereum outperformed. So this is up 35%, and I'll tell you guys why in a second. This is up. Wow, XRP is up even more. Okay, cool. XRP didn't do too great in the previous bull market, but at the same time, there are some mixed signals. Like again, we 1, 2, 3 bull markets where we didn't really make a new all-time high. Sure, we made a new all-time high here, but barely. It doesn't even count. So for that reason, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if XRP does the best out of all the big caps. I would not be surprised. Okay. Mm, any cryptocurrencies you guys want me to look at before we move on to gold and then a few stocks? Any? Does anyone have any questions about cryptocurrency, anything like that? I am starting to buy crypto, not because I think that the bull market has begun right now. Like, again, I wouldn't be surprised to see us go right back down. I wouldn't be too surprised. But whether it starts now or in the next few months, it doesn't really make a difference to me. So, and again, Algorand is still very cheap in the grand scheme of things, and I've been buying here as well. I'm still buying on this pump. It's still at a discount, so yeah. Anyways, we're gonna move on now to gold. So unfortunately, gold never got to our levels. We were never able to accumulate. This was our level over here. So we never got to accumulate any GDX or any gold companies or even silver. But I mean, it does look like things are starting to shift earlier than we'd hoped, and we have a bullish engulfing candle held another bullish breakout. You might get a pullback and then go up, or you might just go up from here. Either way, it does look like gold is going to continue its uptrend. Now, there is a small possibility that we actually go back down, and this could potentially be a liquidity grab. It's possible. I'll leave it on the table. This could be a fake out. And that's why I'm only going to look for a trade if it goes back down here, and number 2, it would be a high risk trade. If we had hit our levels over here, we would have looked for, high probability opportunities over here. But a retrace into this, there's always a chance that this is a fake out and that price does want to continue lower because maybe too many retail starts to get in over here and we have to go back down. And for that reason, this would be a high risk trade, okay? If we enter. GDX, of course, doing very well with gold pumping. Silver never really got to our level. Now, I think if we have to choose between silver and gold, I might actually just buy gold instead of silver. Silver, I think, will do much better. Much, much better. Maybe not at the beginning of this uptrend, but a few weeks or months down into it, I think silver will really start to do will really start to outperform. And then we have EWZ. This is something that is, definitely not a bad idea to diversify into. This is a long-term play, the Brazil market. It has a 4.29% dividend yield right now. For those of you that don't know, that means for every $100 you put in, you make about $4.29 per year. Okay? And this is without the compounding effect of, the fact that you get paid like quarterly or every month or whatever. That's without that priced in. So technically it's even higher than 4.29%, depending on which aspect you look at it from. But as long as it's below the 382 fib level, I think this is definitely worth accumulating. It's not something I'm putting too much of my money into, though. Very, very little bit. And that's simply because I like the China markets more. I think they're a lot safer. With the charts look way better on Brazil, but the economy of China looks way better than Brazil. So as far as charts go, Brazil versus China, Brazil wins. But as far as fundamentals, valuations and how promising the China like the governments are, Alibaba wins by a lot, and that matters. Okay, so for that reason, I think China is just way safer, and I would put way more money into that. And again, I'm buying Baba, Baidu, and JD. And as far as Baba, it's pulled back today. Again, there is resistance here. You broke below the parallel channel, so you retrace to the scene of the crime, got a pullback. Now we have support coming in over here at the gap fill. This could be the bottom, and then we have another support level here. We might look for a day trade on Alibaba, actually. I mean, I really like the fact that the 0.5 fib level is converging with a gap fill and support, so I like that level. We might actually look for an entry over there. I just noticed it too, like just now, so I'm going to just mark Alibaba for later. But I really do like this level here, actually. This would be like a day trade. Yeah. We could hold half of it for a swing trade, but it would be a day trade. Okay. It would be like a 2-entry trade. Very high probability setup. I would want to send it out maybe even here, or here, sorry, but I do prefer to send out day trades here. So I'll let you guys know. I'll think about this, and then you guys will know, okay? Anyways, that's Alibaba. Then we have BDD, and there's an extremely high probability setup on BDD. This is one trade that's almost guaranteed to win. Okay? If we can get to this level here, this is a major pivot. Now, it's below the 618. It's still very close to it, so it still somewhat counts as converging. Appears through the 618 into the pivot right there. And yeah, this would be major support, and this is a very quality company. You guys can see it's been trading in this down range for a very long time. I think in the future it might get a massive bull run. So institutions should be looking to buy these discounts, these dips, even if it's just a little bit. When enough institutions put a little bit of money at good levels, at discounts into a quality company, you get the bounce you're looking for to make your money. And that's really who we're trying to make money off of, institutional traders. We're trying to buy in the areas where we believe institutions will accumulate. And sometimes it's 2 entries. Sometimes it's 1. Sometimes it's 3. Sometimes we don't know exactly where they're going to go in, right? It's hard to know where institutions will go in. When I'm extremely confident, it's 1 entry. Like, for example, with Alibaba, it would have been 1 entry. If we had only hit the 786 fib level, there would have been like, this would have like a 95% chance of winning. But we never hit over here, unfortunately. You guys would be surprised at how many trades barely miss our entry and then hit take profit. I don't show you guys all of them, but there's a lot of them. It's very annoying, very frustrating, but it's happened a million times and it's going to happen a million more, so we might as well get used to it. Anyways, then we have MO, and there's a really nice level I like over here. This is the low of 2024, and this is the low of 2026, and so if we hit it over here, this would be the second time we hit it in 2026, meaning this level would be a lot weaker, but it should at least get a bounce. And notice how, we had a bull market cycle, bear market cycle. Does anyone know what this is over here? If you guys have been in these classes for a while, you know exactly what this is. This is the bear market rally, and let's see what it retraced to. I'm guessing it retraced to the 382 fib level. Let's see, or 0.5. Never mind. I was completely off. It got close to the 618. Okay, cool. Typically it goes into the 382 or 618 with the bear market rallies. But anyways, the higher it goes, the better it is in the bear market rally. It shows that there's a lot of institutional interest if it hits the 618, and it got close, so that's good. Then it goes down, it still makes a higher high, and then it continues higher. And I can show you this example on Bitcoin, on XRP. Look, this is Bitcoin, same thing here. Bull, bear market rally. Look, we have a higher low, and then bam. And this happens as soon as you break above this level. Like, break above, retrace up. Same thing happened on XRP. Let me show you guys that right now really quickly before we... There you go. Bull, bear market rally, break above, bam. And now, same thing with MO. bull, bear market rally, and let's actually connect a line from here into here. And yeah, you broke above and you just uptrended. So I think institutions will buy the dip. I don't even think this is just going to bounce here. I think it could bottom out over here. So for that reason, because of the cycles, and this is why cycles are very important for swing trading, because when you know what's going on with cycles, you can use that to figure out if you should have 2 exits or just 1. And if you have 2 exits, you can potentially make so much money on a trade. So I'm thinking about holding maybe 20 to 30% of this position, even if our first take profit is hit, and hold it for a much, much more upside. Anyways, then we have, yeah, that's actually all we have. Is there any stock you guys want me to look at? We have Microsoft here. I wanted to buy Microsoft, I believe here or here. Or technically, I wanted to send out a trade alert or an investing and trade alert for Microsoft here or maybe down here. I can't remember. But either way, we missed our entry. Whether it was here or here, we missed our entry and it moved up. I personally did buy Microsoft. I was waiting for these levels to get hit before I tell you guys about it. So it's unfortunate that we missed it. But this is insane, right? This is insane. Earnings, again, it was caused by earnings, but then it continued higher. There's a lot of institutional interest. Even if you didn't have good earnings, I still think this eventually would have gotten up here pretty soon. So I think Microsoft will continue to go higher. It's not worth buying for me because of the price. As far as taking profits, I personally just sold my Microsoft today just because of how much upside there is on crypto, regardless of whether this is the beginning of the bull market or not. Because again, whether it happens now or a few months down the line doesn't make a difference to me. And okay, this is a trade we lost. This is one of the worst trades of the year. But NOK is definitely at a really good discount. Okay, so what we want to do is use Fibonacci to figure out where we are at. Let's go to the monthly time frame. And let's start. Now this is a tricky one. I don't know if I should start the Fibonacci from here, here, or here. This is a little tricky. I think the safest option, I know you can't go wrong with the lowest point right there. And then taking it all the way up here. Because identifying where you had the parabolic move is kind of difficult. Whether it's here or here, it's a little difficult. I'm not sure what institutions would be doing here. So the safest bet is to go with the lowest point. And in this case, that's going to be right there. So you guys can see, we've pulled back quite a bit. We never got to the 618 fib level. We are forming a bear flag pattern. I think AI could continue higher and do very well, and for that reason, maybe this does end up going a lot higher and bottoming out here, but the pattern is bearish. Okay, so and again, if you pick AAOI, it's a lot safer in terms of like, will this go higher or not? Because the trend has already started, but at the same time, it's riskier because of the discount. So I think, me personally, I'm just holding my NOK. I'm not buying anymore. Okay. But yeah, this bear flag pattern does need to be acknowledged. But if tech starts to really pick up again, yeah, I can see this going up a lot more. I mean, we have MSFT that already shot up, and if it continues higher, then the small caps will follow as well. CSGP. I believe Shannon sent out a trade alert on this. Let me just check. So we have Shannon here who sends out trade alerts. I believe, no, she sent it on BSX. Yeah, never mind. But yeah, I mean, I love this trade. It's just, I don't know how long it's going to take to actually hit or take profit. I don't want to have to hold trades for months and weeks and months and all that. So my plan is to wait for this thing to consolidate a little bit more. if it consolidates a little more, okay, and then um, if I think that we're near the end of the consolidation phase and I see buying momentum increase and we still have a good entry, then I'd be more than happy to send this out to you guys. But I don't want to have to every single day, because I've been through this before. Before I made a change to the service in terms of what I enter trades on, we used to hold trades for months sometimes, and it's just not fun, guys. It's just not fun. I don't want to do that anymore. So unless we get a really really good discount, like maybe $22 down over here, which would be the 2016 highs, insane, or we consolidate here, get one final good pullback for an entry, then we can enter. Otherwise, I don't want to send out a trade alert on this. But yeah, I mean, if you're okay with holding this for potentially 1 to 3, maybe even 4 months, if you're very unlucky, then yeah, this is a great play. And I mean, technically, you'd be looking for at least 30% profit, so that's not bad. That's, I would say that's to some degree that for a lot of people that could be worth it. Even for me, honestly, it's kind of worth it. But I'm trying to be, I'm just trying to send out the best possible trades when I send them out to you guys. Okay. So I decided to ignore this one. Anything else, guys, or no? Okay, cool. Well, in that case, I do want to apologize really quickly because we didn't have class last week. But I hope you guys enjoyed this class. NVDA, sure, we can look at NVDA before we end it off. Again, we're in this trend over here on NVIDIA. There's so many opportunities in the market. Well, there's not that many, but there's definitely enough. There's definitely enough opportunities. So I can see why NVIDIA isn't shooting up right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it does, but I really don't know what's going to happen to NVIDIA. That is the honest truth. I think it's priced in pretty well. I think it's probably exactly where it needs to be. As far as a trade, I wouldn't really enter a trade anywhere. I wouldn't invest anywhere unless we get down to this level here. I would only trade and invest at this level. Other than that, I personally don't see any other level. Maybe this gap fill here, sure. I would be hesitant. But yeah, that could work. But I really like this channel here. I really, really do. So that's the only level I care about at this moment. Until we hit that level, I really don't care about NVIDIA. As far as short term, like where I think price could go, I mean, we have a gap fill here, maybe you get a little bounce here, maybe you could day trade it. I personally wouldn't, but you could. Your odds of winning would probably be 55 to 60% if you're lucky. So yeah, that's all I can say about NVIDIA. Not too much to say here. Okay, any other stock, guys? I don't mind. Since we didn't have class last week, I don't mind doing more for you guys to make up for it. So is there anything you guys want me to look at? I really like Pepsi too, by the way. I really, really like Pepsi. Let me go over this. So again, I actually sold my Pepsi shares today because I wanted to buy other things that I'm a little greedy, okay? I'm sorry, but I'm a little greedy. So I bought, I had to sell to buy some other things. Cough, cough, crypto. I didn't really have too much in Pepsi anyways, but I think Pepsi is a great hold. Great hold. Okay? I mean, look at where Pepsi is, and then look at where its number one competitor is, Coca-Cola. I would not be surprised to see this thing go up. And I needed to buy more crypto immediately, so I sold my Pepsi, but I'm probably going to start accumulating Pepsi again now. But look at where Coca-Cola is, look at where Pepsi is, and this is literally like, they're both billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar businesses, both future trillion-dollar businesses probably. I mean, you never know, but they're probably going to be around for a long time, if not forever. So for that reason, I do think this is a great buying opportunity. And I do think institutions will start to take profits from here and buy this, and even hedge against each other, meaning some will probably short this and then buy this. So I think Pepsi is a very extremely low risk, medium reward play, and that's worth it to me. Extremely low risk, medium reward is a really good deal. Baba, absolutely. We already went over Baba, but I can do it again. So, again, for Alibaba, I'm extremely bullish on Alibaba, but I'll tell you worst case scenario. So, we had a bull market, bear market rally. I do think we bottomed out here, but I still think we might consolidate here for a little bit more and then go up. And this is worst case scenario, but honestly, I don't mind because I can accumulate more here. So I would love to see this. Okay? So I'm going to be accumulating Alibaba for a very long time. And as far as fundamental analysis goes, don't even take my word or my research into consideration. I mean, look at what Charlie Munger did. Charlie Munger bought over here somewhere, and then over here somewhere. He's been accumulating. He passed away now, but he's a billionaire, multi-billionaire. He's Warren Buffett's like best friend. And he didn't just buy Alibaba. You know, any whale can buy something with a little bit of money so that everyone else can buy more, and then, you know, they have their little plans. But the thing about Charlie Munger is his actions, you know, speak for themselves, because he didn't just put money into Alibaba. He put, I believe it was around 16% of his portfolio into Alibaba, into one company. And this is one of the biggest companies in China. I believe top 5 to top 10. And China, their companies have a very low PE ratio. Even this stock, which is one of the biggest companies in the world, Alibaba is one of the biggest companies in the world, has a PE ratio of, I think, like 18. Let me just double check. 20, very low, extremely low for a $300 billion company. Extremely, extremely low. And this is why I say this. Alibaba, right now, is the lowest risk, highest reward, highest value play I can find. I'm sure there's better opportunities, but this is the best one I can find right now. Okay? And I don't care if this drops back down here. I don't care. We might consolidate for a little bit more. The bear market rally just ended, and we might be due for some consolidation, maybe until 2027 or maybe even 8, worst case scenario. But then this will have a massive bull run, I believe, and it'll go into maybe even like $600, which is insane growth. That is 500%. So close to 500%. So yeah. No, Joshua. So it's always random, but I'm always looking for trades. I'm always looking for investments. Most of my time gets spent into, well, 2 things. You know, marketing for my business, which is Traders Utopia, getting more of you guys in here. And number 2, actually looking for setups and investment opportunities that, you know, and information that I can share with you guys, and in hopes that you guys benefit. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this class, and I will see you guys all next Friday. Everyone take care. Bye for now.